Okay, so to be clear, I don't make a comic haul video every time I go out and purchase some comic books. Usually I will make one if there's like a pretty good amount that I've purchased, or maybe if there's just something interesting about, the books that I have purchased. Maybe it's not that many. This is one of those videos. I did some digging last weekend, and I picked up a few things, and I wasn't going to make a video, but I did end up going to one particular store where I found like a mixed bag of things that I thought was interesting enough to speak on. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to show you everything I picked up, but I want to kind of get into more detail about one of the stores that I patronize. So here's what I've gotten in the last week or so. This particular purchase, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I got these books, but I've been buying a lot of like AWA stuff. I've been finding books in the dollar bins, in the 50-cent bins. And what I notice about the AWA Upshot stuff is sometimes in the last few pages, they'll advertise some of their books. On this particular one, they advertise some of their books coming out right there on the back. And I have been, very entertained by some of these short runs that I've been finding on the AWA Upshot stuff. So there was this one book that I saw just flipping through one of these other books that I have, and I saw this book called Hit Me, and I didn't have any. I might have one. I might have one, but I'm not sure. But this book Hit Me. I found the whole run, but I don't remember where. I don't remember where. I think it was at Dreadnought Comics. Yes, it was the whole five issues. So here's issue number 1. There's issue number 2. And I love when I can find the entire run all at the same time so I can read it right away. Yeah, like that's going to happen. There's issue number 3. I don't know. I'm starting to think that it's about some women who know how to handle themselves. Not sure what that storyline is. Here's issue number 4. This is crazy looking. Look at, you got her face, and then you got some fish hooks and that's pretty disgusting right there. Fish hooks and a cigarette butt. Ugh. It's terrible looking. It's 4, and then here's issue number 5. And Dreadnought has a humongous section of just full runs of different titles. Marvel, DC, and a lot of indie stuff. So that's where that came from. I thought I picked up something else there, but who knows where it is. This next one, man, this was a really big disappointment. I somehow, because I collect Richard Corbin stuff, and I don't know, I don't recall. I have my list of, my want list, and this Famous Monsters of Filmland ended up on my want list. Now I have at least 3 of these, 2 or 3 that feature Richard Corbin, but somehow I got the idea in my head that issue number 45 featured him. And I don't think there's a variant cover for this, but this is issue number 45. I was on, what do you call it, Whatnot, and some guy who was selling a lot of magazines. He was selling some really cool stuff, a lot of horror stuff, and he pulled this out, and I was like, oh, I gotta have it. Actually, he was showing off some stuff that he was, going to sell. You know how they ask you, hey, if you want me to run this, let me know or whatever. And I was like, yo, run that 45. How much is it? And I ended up getting this for 25 bucks. It goes for way more than that. And this is a really nice copy. And it turns out Richard Corbin isn't in here at all. So I made a mistake somewhere along the way. But I got this overpriced book that I can't do anything with. So I'll probably end up, I don't know, selling this or something. But yeah, that was a disappointment, especially because I paid a whole lot more than I wanted to. So next up, there's a local chain. It's called Zia Records. They're one of those stores that sell a little bit of everything. Record CDs, movies, video games, books, magazines, comic books, musical instruments, t-shirts, all of that kind of stuff. And I go in there every once in a blue moon and I'll take a look at their comic books. So they have a lot. They got a big selection of comic books. They're just pretty random. And a lot of times they'll have a box or two behind the counter of books that are either they're rare or expensive or adult oriented or something like that. So I asked to see those books and I pulled a few of them out of there. One of the books I pulled out was this Batman Killing Joke. Now, I've seen this book. I know this is a big book, a heavy book, and I've seen it many, many times. I don't know anything about this book. I know that they've made a lot of different pressings on it. I don't mess with DC. I'm not a Batman guy for the most part. I do have a couple here and there, but I was there. I saw it. It was $10. I don't know what which pressing this is or what printing this is, a first, second, third. I don't know. Maybe somebody can help me with that. But I was like, why not? I'll pick it up. I picked up some interesting stuff over there. So I picked this one up. And then a book I was actually looking for was this Wolverine #2. Now, I bought this book when it came out back in the 80s. And of course, as time went on and, I stopped collecting, I didn't have those books anymore. But then, I want to say 2008, I was in this comic shop. I think it was, what bookstore? What was it? Atomic Comics? Atomic Comics. They're not around anymore. But believe it or not, this was around the time that Public Enemy put their comic book out. And they were making an appearance at Atomic Comics. So I went down there, and of course there was a big long line, and I was in line inside the store. The line went all the way out the front door. But while I was standing in line, I saw this whole run, or so I thought, like right there on the wall, and I was like, I should buy those again. So I grabbed them, and I bought them, and #2, I don't remember. I thought I bought the whole run, all 4 issues, but maybe I just found the 3 issues. I don't remember, because I bought them and I put them away and I never touched them again. And at some point I realized that I was missing issue #2. So I picked that up. This was, I want to say it was $16, 15, $16, something like that. What I kind of don't like is it kind of looks like it was cut off there. Like that edge was cut off, cut short. So it's not as wide as it should be. But whatever. I've seen them for a lot more. So now I have this complete run again. So those two were Zia purchases, and then I made a quick stop over at a Samurai Comics, and I picked up the what issue is this? Issue number 8 of Exquisite Corpses, and this was a recommendation from Eric over at Greg's Comics. So I've been picking these up. One of these days I'll start reading them. Of course, I picked up issue number 3 of Crownsville. I pretty much collect anything that Rodney Barnes does. So I picked that up. I gotta go grab number 4 hopefully this weekend. And then this is issue number 1 of Masterminds that I picked up for $1 there. So I pretty much, and Crownsville and Exquisite Corpses are, like, if I'm not mistaken, the only 2, new books that I'm actually following. There might be one more in there, but that's it for new books. So, last batch I want to show you is actually a batch from a store, and this is kind of what I wanted to talk about. It's a store called High Score Comics. And High Score Comics used to be Jesse James Comics. And I've spoken about this on another video, but High Score is kind of like I describe it as a miscellaneous comic book shop. You never know exactly what you're gonna find in there. There's not a whole lot that you can go in there and guarantee they have it. So like they're starting to have more new titles, but by no means is it thorough like you would see in most comic book shops that carry new titles. So their new titles used to be almost zero, and now they carry a significant amount of DC and Marvel books, not a whole lot of indie. Their back issues, which there's nothing like, for the most part, not a whole lot from the 60s or 70s or even 80s, just a tiny little bit. Most of the back issues are like from the last 10, 15 years or so. A lot of indie stuff in there, but you just never know what's gonna be there. You just don't know. That's just the kind of shop that it is. And they have the gamers in there, so they have a whole section for them and all of that. But you just never know. It's you can be surprised sometimes, and the prices are pretty good, I would say. I bought a ton of books from them over, they've only been High Score for maybe a year. No, maybe a year or two, couple years now. So, but Jesse James was the same way for the most part. It was just kind of miscellaneous stuff in there. Nothing in particular. One thing that I love is that they, when I needed long boxes or short boxes, I could buy them for real cheap. Usually the long boxes were $3 used, and the short boxes were $2. I just bought a short box that looked like it was brand new, and it was $2, so that was cool. And the guy told me that they just bought a big collection, so there was I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 short boxes. And he said once we process all this stuff, all of these short boxes are going to be $2 a piece. So $2 versus $12, $14, $15, I'll take that all day. So I did pick up a short box, but I did pick up some of these. Oh, here is another one that I am another new book that I'm following. I picked up American Caper issue number 3, and this wasn't in the new stuff, even though this is a brand new book, but this is processed and put in their bins. $5 cover price, that's what they're going for. A really, really cool book that I found in there, and I have this. I actually have 2 copies of this. Is a book called The Blackest Terror. Now take a real good look at that cover. It's pretty self-explanatory. And this book was done by Eric Esquivel. And basically the book is just like you see. This guy is like a black liberator type hero guy, and the story is what's that dude's name on the Today Show? The big dude, the big black dude that does the weather. I can't even think of his name. With the big dude who does the weather on there, has been on there like forever. Like this guy basically hijacks a whole TV station and basically threatened this guy's life, and basically tells him he's got to, reclaim his blackness, and he's doing this on live television in front of, the whole country, and the guy's like scared to death, and he's like getting ready to kill him, like right there on camera live. And it's a good story. I wish there were more of these, but this was the only issue of this that he put out. And I think every time I see this, I'm gonna grab it, because I just think it's a very, very cool book, all in all. So I had to pick that up. $5, even though I have it already, but I had to pick that one up. And then this is a book that I'm going to get more into. I've spoken briefly on this book, but this is that book, Red, Retired and Extremely Dangerous. And these, they made some covers of these. It says prequel to the motion picture. Now, for the record, the motion picture, the movie, sucked. I thought it did a serious disservice to the actual book. But I am anxious to see if this book has its own story, or is it just the movie all over again, which would mean I'm really not interested in, holding on to them. But I do have a few more of these covers that are the movie covers. And of course I have the original story, which was 3 issues. Red is a really, really good read. I'm not saying these, I'm saying the original 3-issue run is one of the best books I've read, and just one of those stories that make me fall in love with comics all over again. So if you see them, and they're always cheap, they're always in the dollar boxes when I see them. If you come across them, pick them up. They're really cool. And hopefully, you know what? Let's take a quick look in here. Let's just see if they basically based this off of the movie. The movie was a joke. There was a few cool looking scenes in there, but based off of what I'm seeing, it doesn't appear to be based off of the movie. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be based off of the movie. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to give these a read. And who knows, maybe I'll be able to talk about... Maybe I'll be able to talk about this story a little bit more in depth at some point. Or these books anyway. So these were also $5 a piece. So I had to pick those up. Now, moving on. There was I just saw a recent comic haul with Dan Elson. Make sure you check his page out. He does a lot of cool haul videos. And he was talking about Nemesis. And I've seen Nemesis around, but I never paid it any attention until, Dan started talking about him. And I go, I might need to check that out because, I've had some really good recommendations from Dan. And the same day I saw the video, I go out and I find issue 1 and 2 of that book. And there's a few different titles of Nemesis titles, I guess, and this is Nemesis Forever. So I didn't want to pick up the wrong one because they had a few of them there. So I had to pull up Dan's video on my phone and look at it again. And this is definitely the one he was talking about. And I do believe, if my memory serves me correct, it was the art inside of it that I saw some really cool picture he showed of all of these people that had been, you know, and they were all laying on a beach somewhere. And I thought that that artwork was pretty cool. So that's what made me decide to check these out. So I picked up 1 and 2 right away the same day that I saw Dan's video. Thank you, Dan. You're a good guy. Again, now, back to the AWA Upshot. Here's another. I think I might have at least one comic book that is, oh, these were $5 a piece, by the way. Year Zero. Year Zero, I think I have at least one of these. I'm sure I showed it to you. It's probably from one of those Michigan runs, but I'm not sure. But, yeah, I love these short runs. I've been enjoying this AWA Upshot stuff. So I saw a few of these. I had to pick them up. This is number 2 from a 5-issue run. And I also picked up, wait a minute. Yeah, number 2. And I also picked up number 4 of this 5-issue run. So as I said, I think I have one. So I may only need 2 more. But look at that cover. But I'll have to check. I'll definitely have to check that. Who knows where that other one is? I got so much stuff. And then the last one I want to show you from High Score is issue number 2 of Rage More, a Richard Corbin book. Now, I've shown you this whole entire run on one of my Corbin, or probably more than one of my Corbin videos. But when I see Corbin and it's cheap, I buy them anyway. I have a lot of Corbin extras that I'm in the process of reselling or trading or whatever. This one was only $2, so it was worth picking up. And hey, if anybody needs this, let me know. Maybe we can work something out. But yeah, love Corbin. And so I had to pick this up. So yeah, I just kind of, with this mixed bag of stuff that I got from High Score, and you know how I heard about some of these stuff. Some of these books were pretty interesting, and these are all stuff that, you know, definitely going in the collection and pretty much staying there. Can't wait to start reading this one. And I just want you guys to, you know, get a little clearer picture of High Score, in case you're ever in the Phoenix metropolitan area. Well, that's it for my latest haul. I'm sure I will see you soon. Make sure you guys check out my Richard Corbin videos. Those are always cool. The next one is going to be a doozy, trust me. And I just, woo, I won't even get into it. But thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you again soon. This is Daryl D signing off. Peace and love.